there it is. There it is.
What up, y'all?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey, I'm talking here.
Ooh,
Anyways,
there
guys.
it is.
My name is Michael, aka Rickshaw, and you are nerding out with Rickshaw. Today we have a special guest, ex-Emmure guitarist Jesse. Say hi, Jesse.
Hello. How we doing, everybody?
And you're also nerding out with.
What's up, guys? I'm FUZZ.
What's up, nerds? It's Rabbit.
And it's the producer, Toby.
Nice.
Today we're just hanging out. We're going to catch up with Jesse for a little bit, and then we're going to talk about some news because FUZZ's favorite band actually got into a fight on stage. We're going to talk about that. You know, FUZZ is going to elaborate how he wanted to hear that new song.
I haven't heard any. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Gavin Dance. Yeah, the other one. Yeah, those old dudes and their walkers fighting. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting all of your favorite bands mixed up.
It's cool, man.
Anyways, Jesse, it's been a long time, dude, since we have caught up. We actually know each other from touring. Whenever he was in Emmure, we did a lot of touring together. I think we did Europe a couple. I think that was like the main one where we got to know each other, right? In Europe.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier today. I was like, I know in Europe we shared a bus, so we were like, there was like fucking 25 of us in one bus. It was such a confined spot, and you know, either you're gonna learn to love or hate somebody, and absolutely, we hung out. That was a good time, and lots of doner kebabs were had, and late night walks to find food, and all types of random weirdness in Europe. But man, good times, absolutely. That was like what, 2011?
I want to say 11. Also,
something like that.
Yeah. And it was I wrestled there once. It was Emmure. Was it War from a Harlot's Mouth?
Oh, you got me the shorts on that tour. You got me the War from a Harlot's Mouth shorts on that tour. I still have them to this day.
And there has to have been another one, right? Had to have been 4 people on the bill.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Who else was it?
Hold on.
What's it from the UK? It was that hardcore band from the UK with Stewart, right? What was it? Your Demise? No, not them.
Yeah, I thought it was Your Demise because that's where you
maybe
got the
it
hoodie, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? Hold on. What's the California band? Winds of Plague? Was Winds of Plague on that one?
Oh yes, we shared a bus. Yes. That's right. Man,
okay.
It's tough to remember it like that. All of it.
Yeah.
that shit was a long time ago, man. For y'all, I can only imagine.
Yeah, and then also the All Stars tour, y'all were on also, right?
Yeah, the All Stars. That was us, you guys, a bunch of bands. It was Alisana and just a whole long laundry list of bands. That was a lot of fun too. And those tours are cool, but the only thing, as you know, it can get stressful because like they're going to be like at dinner and then at home already by the time we play. Like, how's this even going to make sense? So definitely some weird vibes sometimes, but usually always a good time. And I feel like we always had some good laughs. And Stephen Bradley lives here in Nashville.
I didn't know you were in Nashville too.
Yeah. I moved down here in like 2015. And then he ended up getting a house here, maybe like 5 years ago or something like that. So I've gotten to link up with him a couple of times and think about old times with him. So pretty cool.
Well, that's good. He's still, he's out there allegedly smoking still, or
who's that?
You?
No, dude, I quit. I quit a while ago, man.
Dang.
Yeah, listen, I get it.
Applause.
Like I respect the culture. I respect the plant and the whole thing, but like it just wasn't making sense for me. Like when I was on tour and meeting up with people and all the things, almost 10 years ago now, and just rubbing elbows and hanging out and like socializing and like that made more sense at that point. But then when I came home and I wasn't doing that, it was just kind of like I'm just burning myself out. So it just was like, I gotta stop. My dog accidentally ate some weed by accident and was like shaking, and and she was freaking out. It was just, there was so many things that happened. I was spending the money, and I'm like, it's not what it used to be anymore, man. So it was like quite a weaning off period, and then that was it, because I'm kind of like a go or don't go, you know, light switch on, light switch off. No. So do it or don't do it. Not like, do it and go to sleep, you know what I mean? It's like very legal and decriminalized in a lot of states, so it's like not as big of a deal as it was 10 years ago, but I just don't know much better. So like, I think when we were touring at the time, it was vodka in water bottles, right? That was the whole thing. Like,
yeah.
On the stage, take the label off. If the label's off, don't drink it unless you want it. You want it, type of thing. So,
dude, I think about how we would just rage back then, and now I could have like a shot and a beer, and my legs are cramping the next morning because I'm like dehydrated. So it's
old dog.
I know, man. I turned 41 this past June. And it's funny because when I turned 40, right before I turned 40, I was like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, how, why? But then you look back and like, you know, what did I do? And in a case by case, you know, basis, you look at it and go, okay, I did these things, and I'm like, all right, I'm okay with that. Now it's like, let's go to the next chapter and try to do the best I can to, you know, take care of myself. And now I go bowling. I'm on bowling leagues, and it's so weird. Like, I never was into sports or anything, but it's like drag racing, you know, car stuff, bowling, ping pong, bocce. Like, there's just weird, random shit that I like to do that I'm like, all right, I enjoy this now. And, you know, when I was on tour, I couldn't be bothered. It would just be, let me, you know, smoke, maybe lift weights, and kind of just hang out. That would be it. I was content.
Oh yeah, I remember specifically that y'all would have people in every city, even in Europe, bringing out bud, and I would be like, thank God for those boys in Emmure.
Oh my God, I know. That was the whole thing, and I look back. It's funny because this is kind of a medium long story, but I look back and a lot of the old Facebook posts, and like I delete them as they come along. I'm like, oh my God, I was nuts. I was on Facebook. Please, I'm in your city, blah blah blah. Like just being like, you know, or somebody else needed it, so I'm on there trying to get people together to make it happen. And then, you know, as time went on, I'm just kind of looking at that. I'm like, man, that's so crazy. That's kind of what it was. It was like this need, this necessity. And when we were in Europe one time, if you remember, I met somebody at a show. Like, yeah, you know, I live here, but you have to cross over like 2 countries' borders, and it's super close. I don't know if you remember this story, but like I would literally, I walked like 2.5 miles, like through 2 borders that were like closed, just whatever, and to go meet somebody, hang out with them at their house, and then come back and be like, guys, I have plunder. I brought the plunder with me. Like a fucking pirate. Yeah. So,
oh dear God.
Oh yeah. So many stories like that. But the funniest times were, again, we're in the bus, right? And like we'd be sitting there, and they'd be like, okay, we have the food for you. And like they'd bring milk crates of like bread sandwiches with like a little bit of cheese, or like a little bit of weird sauce in there, and like something, a little bit of meat maybe, and you're like, and they're like, come on, let's go. Don't even know where we are in the world. We're going, right? Like, take a sip of vodka, and we're walking to an open kebab place. And I always tell people, I'm like, we would see like these venues turn from like small metal shows to clean up to turn into gigantic discotheques or whatever, right? Like,
oh yeah, dude,
the streets were nuts. Yeah,
but it's nuts. It's crazy to think about that. Like, you know, we're like, damn, the show was sick tonight. You know, there's like, you know, 400 people, 500 people sometimes, to where it's like, damn, it was tight in there. And then we're moving out the gear, and then there's like 5,000 people in line, and we're like, what the fuck is going on tonight? And they're like, everyone likes to dance. Like, what? Like,
I remember that. And I was almost like discouraged. I'm like, what did we do wrong? I was like, no, it's not what you did wrong. It's what they did right. Like, this is what these people really, really, really want to hear.
Yeah.
And like, people would be at the metal show, and they come out and like turn around and stand back in line, and like all the random people. And we've seen so many people fighting, falling down in the street, sitting in the alleyway, right? Like, remember the boat in Paris, right? There was like a boat you play on.
Yeah.
Yeah. We saw a guy that was just laid out there, just sitting there, passed out. We watched him piss his fucking pants. And like literally, like, yo, he's peeing right now. And I think we named him like El Pipi Wee Wee or something funny. We were cracking up. I was like, this is nuts, man. I mean, like, it's just like a
Pee Le Pew.
Yeah.
literally, man. It was a wild deal over there, and then here in the States, it was like wild, but like more contained because like, oh, this is what we know, right? Like this is like the culture and everything that we know. So I always tell people, man, I love traveling, but every time we travel, been to Europe like 16, 17 times or whatever. Every time I'd come back to JFK in New York and land, I would literally kiss the marble disgusting floor and be like, I'm so happy to be home. Like, no disrespect. I'm so thankful and happy to do those things, right? And be there. But from my culture, how I was brought up and all that, I was like, man, all right, I'm good. Like, I have much more respect where before it was like, oh, Queens, fuck the world. No one knows nothing if you don't grow up in Queens, New York, right? Like, and then that quickly vanished when I started traveling. I was like, oh man, like I see all these different things, and it was very humbling in a good way. So, absolutely.
Yeah, I feel you. And it's funny that you brought up the bread thing because even Mikey, when I posted about the you being on earlier, Mikey was like, "Hey man, you should ask him about the time that I hid sandwiches in fucking Frankie's windbreaker." And do you remember this story at all?
Oh, I don't remember. No, with like the saran wrap sandwiches you're talking about, like the little.
Yeah. Like how they like if we had it for lunch, they set everything out for us to make sandwiches, but then during the show or like right before the show, they like actually build a bunch of sandwiches and put them in bags, and then they send them with you on the bus. You know?
Yes. What I mean? Yeah.
And so there was a show where Mikey from Iwabo, the drummer, he was always like, he's a little prankster, right? And it's always like the most like, what? Why'd you do that? Right? Like he used to fart in bottles and put the cap on and then squeeze them in people's face. And it would be like, oh, what? Why'd you fucking do that, bro? But there was a time.
Did you drink his piss in the van?
No, I never drank his piss.
I drank his piss in the van. Who did that?
I drank my own piss by accident once.
I might have drank his piss.
I might have drank his piss, and I was real fucked up. I think I was real mad at him for that one though. But he's like a piss fart guy, whatever. He's always doing pranks. But anyways, the most mild prank got Frankie pissed off.
Frank Sinatra, baby.
So okay, so we're going to the next show, and we have a big crate of sandwiches that the venue before has built for us, right? And everyone comes in the green room the next day, starts hanging up their clothes, picking their spots, but right before the show, Mikey starts putting these extra sandwiches just in random spots. So he ends up, and like at one point he like taps me and he's like, check this out, and he like puts a fucking sandwich in Frankie's windbreaker. And I don't think anything of it until later, whenever y'all are on stage, Frankie literally gives a shout out to everyone except for Winds of Plague, right? He's like, I want to thank everyone on the tour. Give it up for this band. Give it up for Iwabo. And then he's like, skips Winds of Plague, and he's like, if I didn't bring you up, fuck you, or some shit. And so we're all sitting there, and we could hear, the stage sound, and Johnny's like sitting with us, and Johnny's like, what the fuck was that all about, right? And then so Frankie finally comes out, after y'all get done. Frankie walks in, he's like still sweaty from stage and stuff, and Johnny's like, yo, what the fuck was that all about? And like immediately, and we're all just sitting there like, uh-oh. like I didn't mean to be in the room when this was going down, right? And Frankie's like, well, some of y'all, he's like, I heard some of y'all need to keep your fucking stay out of my business. Don't touch my fucking stuff. And like, Johnny's like, because we'd already discussed this like right before it was going on, like, so everybody knew Mikey was the one. And then so Johnny's like, I don't know what the fuck you heard, but no one in Winds of Plague touched any of your fucking shit. And so then Frankie's like, oh, okay, like, whatever. And then, but after that, Mikey's like, oh shit, maybe I'm gonna have to apologize to this fool. I'm like, I don't know, man. It seemed like he was gonna beat some ass over a sandwich, dude. But yeah,
who doesn't like a pocket
that was the story
sandwich?
on that. But I think that, that is an interesting subject because, Frankie is infamously known for kind of like, losing his temper and then like talking shit. Is there any stories that you would like to elaborate on with him kind of just like making, having a moment and it was like, memorable, good story stuff?
Yeah, I mean, like, look, a lot of stuff happened, and recently, last year, the band came to Nashville. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna reach out to him, and I'm gonna say, let's link up. I haven't spoken to him in like 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk. Let's straighten some shit out. We had a really good talk, and kind of, I went there and expressed certain things that I could see how he felt a certain way about how I did, but I expressed, how I saw the way he did certain things, and that kind of made a clash, and that's really it. There was no communication, and it was just baby bitching, bickering. Like that's kind of how it really went down. So like we get, pounded it out, gave a hug, it was all good, watched them play, had a good time. So we were able to talk about that and kind of get past it all. So now that being said, moving back in the past, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of stuff where he even admitted that he thought he acted out of emotion, and like, he was like, man, I probably wouldn't have want to really tour with myself either. That's what he told me. Like, and I was like, wow, man, I didn't ask for all that. That's great that we could talk about this. And like, he's growing now over time, realizing these things, for the most part. So like, there's definitely random shit where, he would just kind of come off the handle and I just didn't understand. And I want to just talk. I'm like, dude, what's going on? Or what is it? Or why can't we address it before it turns into that? Or like, we did on the Warped Tour, Bring Me the Horizon it was like Bring Me the Horizon plus Warped Tour. You know what I mean? Like, it was like unbelievable how good they were doing. And I was like hanging out with Ollie every day, and I had every drop dead, everything head to toe. And like now I see the way it looked, right? Because he had the Cold Soul clothing, and I didn't like rock any of that. And I didn't do it intentionally or like because I didn't like him. I just was like, oh shit, this drop dead shit is legit and it's sick, and the new era fitteds and all the things. And I was like, the pick bag, like I still have this thing. Put my picks in it, So like, it just like all this random shit. And I was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Like, we're hanging out, and I guess like he just felt a certain way, but we didn't talk about it. And one day they were playing in the stage next to us, and like we were playing the Won't You Be My Bride part. And in between is like a lot of spaces, right? Where it's really like quiet and just cymbals going. And he was just like going, oh, fuck you, no, fuck all you motherfuckers, stay on there, it's gonna watch that band, fuck that band, fuck you. And I heard it, and I was like, oh no. And like we got off the stage, and I just was like, dude, what's up with that? And kind of he walked away, and then Bring Me the Horizon's guitar tech, who I was friends with, Dean, ran up to me and like almost like pushed me. He's like, what was that, mate? Like, what up now? And I was like, I don't know, like I'm not sure. And so like there was things that would happen, and like he went on his own accord to do these and make these decisions. And again, I like nowadays, I think things would be a little different. I'm older and more mature. He is too. And it's more of like a, let's figure this out, or like, hey, let's talk about that immediately. But before it's kind of, we're on our own. And like, I just didn't know. And again, maybe he was just kind of sour about that. I wasn't, being like a team player, and I was all about their shit. And like, I can understand it doesn't make it right. But, there were just so many things like that happened that kind of added up that made the full picture of like, yo, I can't really be doing this anymore because it's not fun, because we keep bumping heads, and I just don't understand where to fix it. I don't see what I'm doing wrong, right? Where again, back in the day, I was so worried about, how do I get the weed, and he didn't really care. And it was like he saw me stress about it, and it stressed him out, but he wouldn't tell me, hey man, like that affects all of us. You know what I mean? Like maybe now, but like before he didn't. So, just these things would happen. And when we played the what was it called? The People's Court in Iowa. That's Ben and Joe, the original guitar player and drummer. That was their last show. Ironically, the People's Court is the name of the venue. And
Nice.
on stage, dude, like all of a sudden a scream comes down, and it's like a Tasmanian devil, like dust storm of fighting. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And like, like Frank got into it with the old members, and then basically it was kind of a situation of like, Frank came on the bus and was like, yo, if they come on the bus, I'm out of here. and if they don't come on the bus, I'll stay, and then we'll figure it out. And I was like, oh my goodness. And it sucks because I was in the middle of a lot of this all the time. So I was the one to have to kind of mediate and tell the old members, yo, like, you guys got to go. This is such a problem. Like, I know it's tough for everybody, and I can't say who's at fault, but like, if Frank leaves, we really don't have a band. If you guys go, we could kind of figure it out. It was just so rough, man. Because again, I was the people pleaser. I was very nice. I was very like not wanting to make these like clash. So, and again, that was probably a lot of why we weren't able to settle things, because he was very much one that wanted to bark, and I was like kind of like, oh no, everything's okay, and I'll just leave you alone for a little while, and we'll go on. I think it's really because I really didn't want it to end. That's really what it was. I really was just like, yeah, there might be awkward things. Maybe I'm doing things that I'm not sure of, but I don't even want to ask about it. Like, let it just be, and then we'll move on, and kind of just keep going and make it happen. And then that fateful day in Russia that they wrote a song about, I think, Russian Hotel Aftermath. It's one of like the new songs they have. Mm-hmm. That's like when it ultimately went down. Like we did a show there, and something happened. I know this is silly, but I think ultimately what was the final draw? The final draw was we were there, and he was, I don't know, just kind of attitudey about something, and then I brought protein powder, like a big thing of protein powder, and we didn't get to work out. It was just so hectic, and he's down the hall going in his hotel room, and he's like, so or like something like, so did you really use that, or did you need that, or like, oh, good job bringing that, really useful, right? And then went in his room, and I was like, I'm quitting. I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't understand why that's necessary. And again, years later, I come to find out, there was so much tensions, but there was no conversations. And that was it, dude. And I was like, all right, I'm out of here. And I told Mike Mulholland, we were in the same hotel room. I was like freaking out about it. And he heard the conversation, and he went to the other room. Was like, all right, they're leaving. Anybody else leaving? What's going to happen now? And it was just this kind of like crazy moment. And then, we spoke on the phone, and I was like, when I got home, I was like, he's like, are you sure, dude? Like, we can't work this out. And I don't like regret my decision because of where I'm at in life, and like they're still going, so that's cool, and like we're friends again. But I was like, no, like I can't do this anymore. Like I'm sorry, sorry, bro. So I know I'm kind of all over the place with these stories, but like it was just so it was just so crazy and volatile, but with the good times and the bad times and the good times, and lots of stories, but lots of good stuff too. Like it's not just all the man's the enemy. I'm not trying to be like that at all. But there was so much good stuff, good ideas he had, good moments, good plans put together. A lot of good opportunities. Like unfortunately, when Randy from Lamb of God got arrested, and we were at this festival, and they were like, "Okay, and you're going to play the main stage. You'll play after this band, that band, Madball, all these huge bands in Europe." And I was like, "Is this going to be good?" And like, played in front of like almost 40,000 people. It's the biggest show we ever played. Like huge. Yeah. So like a lot of good stuff, good memories, good vibes. So looking back, I'm not mad. Again, it was just tough in the moment. Right. So eventually leaving in 2015, I was pretty sour. I would go to shows for like probably to 2018-ish, 19. And I would drink, and I come home, and I would be shitty. I would be pretty mad. Like I would not be in a good mood about it, like, because I come home like, cool, I'm working this other job, or I was selling roofs. I was working at Zales selling jewelry, and I'm like, fuck this. Like, this is not what I should be doing. Like, what am I doing, man? Like, so there was tough times to come with it, but time heals all, as they say. And I was like, you know what? I guess it kind of did. So through all the good, all the bad, all the stories, here we are today, and all things worked out, man.
Yeah, I think that when any band ends, no matter the circumstances, like there's like a relief and also sadness about it. Of course, all of us want to be playing music. You know what I mean? Like you can't always get there.
Yeah, so. Dude. It was tough. It was definitely tough. So that's why I started doing the YouTube channel, where I was like, last year I started feeling comfortable with like, you know what? Let me just start covering these songs that I wrote and recorded, with the band, and hearing Frank's voice, hearing the songs. Like I was into it. I was back again, like invested. I was like, okay, this is good. This is written well. This sounds good. I'm like, oh wow, this is good stuff. I like this again. So it was like very empowering to feel that way, and that's kind of what ultimately led me to like be like, oh, let me just let me link up with the dude. Let's just like talk about everything like we never were able to. And it was great. So that's why I feel comfortable. And I'm not knocking him with these stories, but like comfortable with talking about what went down in the past to kind of lead to what, where it's at now. And the fact they have Josh Travis and they're still touring. And my buddy Zach, a good friend of mine, he plays bass for the band now. So that's where they're at. I think Frank's going to be in town pretty soon too. So we're supposed to link up and have a little lunch or din, and chat it up. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for telling us some stories, and I think that I really like Frankie too. But he just kind of, especially back then, he would just like pop off, even if he was joking, and he like would not sound like he was joking.
Yeah.
No, who does that? Who does that?
But like now, I saw it happen like as it happened. Like he has said some shit recently, like on Twitter and all this shit, and it was like during the Spirit Box, like after Bill passed, he kind of just like voiced up, like, why haven't y'all said anything? Like, and he's like, that's kind of fucked up, and he like added them, and then the next day he's like, I apologize, I was acting out of emotions. But it is something that I feel like they should address. You know what I mean? And so it's like, and they did, and I'm sure there was conversations behind the scenes, but I appreciate when people, especially used to be known for controversial, like, just like, I'm going to say things right off the top of my head. But now they can say like, yeah, I'm like that. And I apologize. It's like,
yeah.
I'll always forgive that rather than just like someone who says some shit and walks away from every conversation afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love to have him on again, honestly. So hey, shout out Frankie. Let's get him on. Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, let's go ahead.
I want to tell him how amazing Goodbye to the Gallows was. That record was fucking one of the best things to ever happen. What year did that come out? 06, 07?
Yeah, I think 07. Yep.
Yeah, dude, that was one of the greatest metalcore whatever records. Didn't know you could be sad and be so heavy at the same fucking time. It was so awesome. Like, yeah, like being like a new metal guy, hearing like new metal style riffs played that way, dude. That record is insane. You're like, I was so excited to talk to you about it just because of how dope that fucking record was. Like, I love that record so much. It's not.
Dude, yeah, no, thank you. And honestly, that was a lot of that came from all of our different backgrounds and really a lot of like how heavy and deep I got with the stuff I listened to, as well as like going down the road of like Deftones and like Emotions and other bands and stuff like that. And same thing with Ben and Joe, the original guitar player and drummer. Ben was a big fan of like Deftones and anything kind of going down that road of like of just like a vibe. And Frank was with it, and Frank was able to write to it, so it was just kind of, it was easy to keep the ball rolling and write stuff like that. And when I joined the band wasn't like as heavy. It didn't tune as low. It was heavy, but it was like more of like more of a vibe. So I kind of brought a lot of that, like, let's get like a little more ignorant. Let's make it let's make it so people are like, oh man, like, really feel it, really get angry. Kind of like what, I don't know, back in the day, Pantera and Meshuggah, Dying Fetus, Morbid Angel, just so much random stuff that I would listen to and be like, these feelings, like, I want to give it, I want to make it in my own way. So I hear it, put it on a record, and other people hear it. So it always is awesome to hear, the great feedback from that record, because that was something that we were like, that was the first thing we did. And it's funny because when we signed to Victory Records, Tony Brummel was like, yeah, you guys will be the next Hatebreed, blah, blah, blah. And like, we were a little more like, I guess, a little more like the hardcore vibe, a little bit of like, with less of the emotion stuff. And then he got the masters for Goodbye to the Gallows, and he wasn't like that stoked. And I was like, uh-oh, did we mess up? Like, he was like, this is cool and all, but like, I thought you'd be like more heavy all the time and da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, but like, our vibe is like, to kind of take you all, take you for a ride all over the place and, have the feelings and the lyrical content, and then have like the really heavy parts, which leads me to one thing that we were going to talk about as far as like how music has changed, right? Like Goodbye to the Gallows was like so good for people, then kind of was like, okay, we like it. And now it came back to be like, oh man, like the OG I see, posted all the time. And even Felony where people hated and so much,
I love Felony.
Yeah.
I love that album so much.
A lot of people, dig it. And I thought that was, anything that we did, I really enjoyed. There's some songs I enjoy less than others. I don't hate anything we ever did. But man, moving forward, like for instance, like bands like Knock Loose, but Body Snatcher, all those dudes, cool dudes, heavy bands, and they do those heavy doomy parts and stuff that we did, like slow it down, and we would get what's called the "fuck you" horseshoe or the boat. Remember that, where people would pretend to row boat in the pit.
Oh.
And then I'd be like, do they hate this? Do they like this? Like, what did we do wrong here? and then that's it, man. Like, that's all. They just want to dun, dun, bun, dun, 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 dun.
Yep.
I was like, oh my God, like that is what it's about the last like 5-6 years now. So that's cool that's kind of making a resurgence because again, that reinstates kind of the old stuff that we did where we have parts like that I was like, all right, it's kind of basic, simple, heavy lyrics over it. That's cool. That'll fly. People will mosh. And then they did or didn't. And now it's like, that's it. That's the heaviest. That's how I wrote my band. And like, I'm good friends with, dude from Body Snatcher, and Kyle. And he's just like, honestly, like Goodbye to the Gallows, like was like, there's this breakdown, that breakdown. I'm like, really? I'm like, to me, it's kind of like, basically like, yeah, we wouldn't be like doing it if it wasn't, for that. And I'm like, interesting. It's so cool to hear that because I passed that down to other people that I met. Like we were fortunate enough to tour with Korn and like other bands and like got to meet them and they were like, yo, you guys are sick. And I'm like, you got to understand something. Like I was 16 years old in like 1998, freaking out, being all fat and chubby in my fucking flannel, not wanting to do anything but play my guitar and like, yo, my life. So for you to tell me that is amazing. So I get it. So passing the buck down, it's always appreciated. So hearing that is definitely every time super cool, man. It's never like a yeah, it is. It's a good album, isn't it? It's never like that, man. So thank you, and I appreciate it to anybody that's still jamming it.
All the time.
It goes a long way to hear that, and help fuel me to do the covers and not the covers, but the playthroughs and kind of keep that going. And it's fun, I hear it back and I'm like, all right, that was good. Still good.
I think like when I'm trying to describe other bands a lot of the time, it's always like, oh, it kind of sounds like Emmure. I think like me and my brother, we say that so often. Like it's like early Emmure. It's like early Emmure. I think that gets said quite a bit when trying to describe other bands. I know we've said it. We used to do music video reactions and stuff, and I think that got brought up all the time. Like, oh, it's kind of got a little Emmure vibe there. So, I mean, I think you guys influence a lot of bands that are around now. So,
yeah.
Also, I want to ask. I'm the wrestling nerd here. I need to ask about the Kurt Angle stuff. How did Kurt Angle like get tied up with you guys?
I think we were trying to figure out an album cover, and then we worked, with whatever pull that Victory Records had, like whoever their contacts were between them and Frank. Frank was the one that primarily dealt with back and forth artwork, lyrics, song names, all that straight up. Like he's responsible for all that. I write riffs. And so he really had his hand in like kind of back and forth with them. And then I don't know, one day kind of between them and Sean Keith, when he started managing us, I think it all just came together. We're like, yo, we can get Kurt Angle on the cover. It's like a respect issue. It's like a boxer. And it's this whole thing of like, respect. And I was like, all right, that seems pretty cool. And then, he ended up doing it. I never met him. We never got to meet him, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a shame.
I know. But yeah, like he did the cover, and then we were told that he liked the album. He thought the music was cool, heavy and aggressive, whatever. And then I think he came out one time with that meme I've seen recently where he's wearing the shirt like on the I don't know if Monday Night Raw or something. He came out wearing the shirt, and I was like, yo, that is awesome, man. So I was like really hyped up about that. But unfortunately, man, there's not much else that I can really add to that. We made the boxing gloves we sold. We had mouth guards and shit. Like, we were just like,
Do you remember that? Yep.
if you remember the movie Spaceball, merchandise, right?
There's Kurt
So
Angle.
like,
It was during a TNA. I want to say it was one of their big pay-per-views too. But that's Kurt Angle wearing the Emmure shirt on the TNA paper show, whatever it was back in the day. I just remember seeing that and I didn't watch TNA back then, but I was like, holy shit, that's awesome.
yes, that's what there's no loyalty, love, respect. Like the lyrics from the intro song. That's right. Yeah, that's what he wore.
I was just fixing to say the intro song on that record goes so fucking hard, it's not even funny.
Yeah.
It's so hard, dude.
Dude, yeah, and again, like that whole thing, you know, which is a whole nother subject that we probably can open up, but like there was not many bands that went out on the ledge to just like, again, we called it the bloody chord. That's what I named it. Because we were listening to a lot of Blood Has Been Shed, and then came the Acacia Strain, and then, you know, a few other bands, Life Once Lost. There's a few bands that hit that like that like nasty chord that we do all the time. And I was like, yo, that's it. That's disgusting. Like, let's do that. Let's do that as much as we can. And, you know, intros are cool, you know, like Acacia and a lot of other bands that did intros. So, like, I get and I understand, you know, people are like, oh, it sounds like it. But it's also like, yo, a genre sounds like a genre, right? Like, you're going to get 10,000 bands that sound similar. And I would say that, and I wouldn't want to, like, offend anybody, but like, yo, if you don't listen to like hardcore, you're gonna hear and you're like, it all sounds, every band. I don't know what band am I listening to. It kind of sounds the same. So like, I understood, and I got them. All people, all right, that sounds just like the Acacia Strain or this or that. And like, I never really got mad about that, but you know, doing the intros, doing all that heavy tuning the guitar low, you know. To me, it was Meshuggah in 1999 or 2000 when they put out the album Nothing. Straight up, between that, Blood Has Been Shed, Cannibal Corpse. There's a lot of bands where I got like that, like real disgusting, you know, let's not just do bar chords, let's split it up and make it sound really, really, you know, gross and chug it type of style. And, you know, K-Stream was part of it too. And we got a lot of shit from that, man. And here's a story. I don't think really anybody knows about this, but like they played here in Nashville at the Muse, which is where we played, where Whitechapel played their first show. We were on our first tour, and I watched Whitechapel play, and I was like, yep. I was like, I would do everything I could for you guys, but I got nothing because we barely just got signed. So, like, that was pretty cool. But either way, we were on tour on the day off, and I saw the Acacia Strain guys here, and they were like kind of like cold shouldering me, and I was like, that's weird. We were like cool like a minute ago, and I was like, Kevin, and the drummer like, hey, this, that. He's like, oh, I'm just not in a good mood today, and like I was like, what's going on? And that was the literal beginning of like, there's a beef apparently. Like, what happened? I don't understand. And again, I'm like a very, you know, literal nice guy. I'm, you know, and I want to have a conversation. I'm like, oh no, I felt so weird. I was like, what happened? And that's when the word got around. Oh, the Emmure is just this Acacia Strain rip off and all the things. I was like, oh no, but it's not like we have similar things happening, but we're different bands. It's like any genre. Like, you know, I was trying to make sense of it. It was a whole fucking to do, and then, yeah, like when we would tour for a while, like there's a couple of times where somebody tried to jump Frankie, like shit would go down, like our merch table got flipped, like it was weird, dude. I was kind of nervous. I was like, yo, why is it like this real, man? Like, really? Like, okay. And then we played that show upstate New York in Albany at, what is the name? Northern Lights. That's where we played. And we're about to play the show, and I'm walking in from the van, and I see Vince walk up with like 7 or 8 dudes, and I'm like, oh boy. And I walk inside, and Frank's about to walk outside. I stopped him, like, yo, Vince is outside. You might not. He just like pushes me aside, walks right out, walks right up to Vince, hits him, and they start fighting. And that's how it happens. And they're fighting. I think Frank got his nipple bit. Like, yo, they were biting each other. I'm serious. Yeah. Like, yeah, they were biting. Vince. Yeah, like like it was brutal, and like everybody's like, just let it go until the point they were both like out of breath, shirts ripped. Is that it? Are we done? Are we fucking done? And they shook hands, and then they breathed a little more. That's it. We're done. And like they shook hands again, And that was the end of it, dude. And like I was like, thank God that's over. And then like all the dudes that rolled up with Vince went into the office and were like, we need that tape for the surveillance footage, and they threw it out, and that was the end of that. It never happened. So that's how that got squashed apparently. And then yeah, and then it's just like, let's grow up and let's do this right. And then we toured with them, and then obviously we've been homies ever since. So like that was long behind us, and they're still going. And Mike Mulholland, dude, Mike, our old guitar player, he's in the Acacia Strain. He helped write the new records, and he's out there crushing. So what a small, weird world, how that works. Yeah.
I remember that beef. I remember, all over MySpace and all that stuff. And like, Mickey and Vincent got in a fight, and it was just like, huh? What? Like, I couldn't comprehend it at the time. I wasn't in the scene. I didn't know. And then like being around other people who were around all of it, they were like, yo, it was fucking stupid. This was dumb. Like it was, it squashed. Everything's cool. Who cares? Whatever. Like, what the fuck?
I just remember hearing some songs were supposed to be directed at the other band. And, like there was, I don't know if any of that was ever came out as true or not. And we don't have to, we can just keep it a speculation. But I do remember hearing that back in the day was like, well, this song's about Emmure and this song's about them. And,
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, that's kind of really what it was. They were just kind of like just jabbing at each other, honestly. And it came to a head. And that's why I think, Frankie wanted to get it done. And obviously Vince rolled up to be like, what's up with it? You guys are here, upstate Massachusetts. That's kind of like Massachusetts, like the New England area, Massachusetts, Connecticut, that was like their area. So like for us, we're like playing VFWs and like, man, just like small other bands kind of had beef with us. It was just so weird. We always had like, people were just like so mad with us. And then again, like I'm always like, yo, I just want to be friends. Just want to smoke. Like, let's hang out. Like, I don't get this. So 2004, 5, 6, 7, it was just a mess of just like, even 8, of all that happening. So I was super glad when that was over. And again, and then time went on. They wrote their records, we wrote ours, and sounding similar, I guess, in the genre, but like doing our things. They got more like core, more like core. Like it's funny, people call us deathcore, but like I'm just like, I don't know. It's like there's not that much like metal in it. There's a little bit of hardcore influence metal, but like it's tough for me to say exactly what we were, again, because we have so many weird like things that we like. Like we were just, like I said, like being Cannibal Corpse, like I could hear certain like grooves and vibes, and then I'd sit and write a song for Emmure based on how I felt from listening to that, right? So it's like people wouldn't know that it just comes from so many different places. So to circle back around to what you're saying, absolutely. The intros, love doing the intros, and I think we didn't do it on Felony. We went right into the album, and that was it, right? Every other record I think had an intro. I think every one of them did.
What was the one y'all had to change the name to? Were you in the band at that time?
Bring a gun to
Eternal
school?
Enemies.
Yeah.
Was that your last album with the band?
That was the 6th record, I think, right? I think that was the last one. Yeah, what ended up happening, and again, this is one of those things where I wasn't very good like with lyrics or like lyrical content, or I knew the name of the song and what's going on in the song pretty much like as it was coming out, or like we were listening to the masters, like, and it wasn't because I was trying to be ignorant to it. I just was like, I'm so focused on riffs and the music that I don't really know lyrics very well. And again, this is something we talked about later in life last year. But like when I found out that was going to be the song name, I was like, that can't be a thing. It's a hot topic like right now. And then it turned out that when that was submitted, Best Buy was like, we're not putting this in stores, and like this and that and that. And that was still a time where you still needed to have some sort of like first week sales. So it was like, it can't be that. And then it turned into, all right, so now if I change it, now how do I look? Changing it, that looks even worse. And I'm just like, dude, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to handle this. This is not my, thing. So between management, the label, and everything, they were just kind of like, it really has to change. It can't be that name. So that's really it. Like it would have just it would have buried the album at a time where nowadays, you could do something like that. It might look bad, but people could find it real quick, online and streaming platforms and all that. But before it was like not quite there yet. So we wanted to make sure it was in Best Buy and fucking Coconuts or whatever else they had at that point. The record places still sold CDs, but yeah, I was a brutal noodle, as they say.
Hell yeah.
Consider
Well, do you
and
guys
talk
wanna-
about all those records,
Yeah.
Jesse. I'm such a nerd for those records. It's not even funny, man.
Yeah, it was good, man. A lot of people ask about that, or like, how did you write this song, or how was it, writing, like, if you've ever been part of it, it's just very interesting, making the demos, bringing the demos to the studio, and then you're there for weeks, just like dragging it out to the point where you not hate the song, but you're like, what is this even good? What am I hearing anymore? Like, does it sound good? Do we need to add more stuff to it? Is this a finished song? Are we done here? Like, so it's just such a weird process to record a record. And that's for any artist, that like kind of doubts what they're going to do. And again, that's like the beautiful part in recording too. Like when I watch documentaries about other artists and they're like doubting it, or you hear the creation of what they don't know yet is about to be something that's going to change their life. Right. So it's a very cool process, and getting the feedback like that is amazing, because you can only hope for that and go, I think this is good. I think what we have here is good and sounds, what I hear in my head to my hands to the record to what you hear is what I'm hoping for what it is, right? So, again, always such a blessing, always super cool to hear the praises about it, and hopefully it just kind of keeps going and stands the test of time, and the band keeps going. They're about to do their 9th record, I think, something like that. Number 9, man.
Yeah. Sick.
Hell yeah.
Well,
so you guys want to talk about some news in the music
Yeah.
world?
I would love
Let's
to just talk about
the news,
breakdowns, but I guess because I
Let's just
can pick
break down.
apart the first 4 records, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to nerd out that hard on that shit. Just so you know, those first 4 or 5 records were fucking incredible. So thank you for putting those out. Those are fucking so good.
Yes, sir. Thank you, man.
All right.
All right,
well,
Mike. News now, I guess.
Speaking of
The news.
heavy, P. Diddy. P. Diddy got arrested, and I mean, did they really find 1,000 dildos in his house?
Okay,
What's
man,
going on?
we're getting all kinds of reports on this stuff. We're learning about the freak off parties.
Get your freak off.
Allegedly.
Everything is allegedly. Yeah.
Say allegedly, please.
I heard something about Cuba Gooding Jr. too, right? Wasn't he?
Yeah, he was part of it.
Hanging out,
my God.
squeezing ass. Yeah,
There's so
Playing grab ass. He's playing grab ass.
he's owed a slap ass.
So
But yeah.
there's a lot of allegations that there's a bunch of rappers that are
Gay rappers.
Closeted, I guess. I mean, but they were high on ketamine,
Ow.
like lots of drugs, lots of.
All right.
That's what it says.
Well, I mean, it's just some of these like articles that are coming out, and some of these people that are like doing YouTube interviews and stuff like that, and talking about some of the stuff. It's wild. It's just some of the stories you're almost like that's not. This is from The Boys. This is a scene from The Boys.
This is like the fucking what's the dude with Epstein? This is like we find out P. Diddy was like the Epstein of the music industry. He's just like, I'm trying to fuck. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a boy, if it's a girl. I'm gonna fucking squeeze some ass today. So,
Dude, I just
it's
couldn't believe 1,000 bottles of like, where are these numbers? Who counted it? And the same thing, with the dildos. I was telling my fiance, I'm like, all those. I'm like, unless are they gonna wear down to the point where I need another one? Like, do they break in half? Like, how do you not need more than maybe 2 or 3? Like,
Yeah.
what? I don't know.
I feel like 4 is a bit excessive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
and then
when you're putting
talking... Go ahead.
Yeah, but when
Rabbit.
you're putting on parties that have like hundreds of people there fucking all at the same time, you're hiring male escorts and all this kind of thing
Allegedly.
just to have sex parties. You're gonna need more than one dildo. You're gonna need like
You know
a lot.
them things ain't fucking cheap, dog. Shit, that stuff's expensive.
And you're gonna need 1,000 bottles of lube.
I can only imagine him being like, he's like
A lot of tarps too, probably.
like the person in charge, of running out and grabbing stuff like that. And he's like, hey, excuse me. Hey, Linda, can you come in here? can you count how many dildos are in here? Because it's not enough. I told you a minimum of 1,300. Okay.
50 dildos. 50 dildos.
How would you
think
like
that's
to
gonna
be the
enough?
FBI agent that had to sit down and count the bottles of fucking baby oil? Like really though, like really truthfully, like how many do we have so far? We're at 500, and there's no end in sight at this point.
Yeah, we didn't even open the third pallet yet. Like, what the fuck?
See,
It's like that
Boxes
scene in
and
Old
boxes of-
School
he-
where they have the KY wrestling, and he's like, we weren't able to get the giant cans, sir. We were only able to get the 4-ounce tubes. Like, like what the fuck, man? Like, people with money, whatever, you do whatever you want, but like, what the fuck, dude? That's just. I feel like 1,000 dildos is just excessive. That's all I can fucking say. I just feel like it's too much.
See, then there's a lot of like misinformation. So who really knows if it's 782 or whatever it is? Because look, right here, here's a post that someone made that said that it was 2,000 used dildos. Or, I'm sorry, 20. I misread that. 20,000. 20,000.
All right. 5 million. Every dildo that's ever going to be made in the next 20 years. Like, what the fuck? Like,
That's all the dildos.
Yeah. Now
all
I'm
of
feeling
them.
like at the police station, they're like, everyone get together. We're gonna play the game where we guess how many dildos he had.
Like the jar, like
You're never gonna
the
guess it, man.
jelly bean game.
You're never gonna guess.
Like counting jelly beans
Yeah.
in a jar. Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're gonna go
fuck.
by Price is Right rules. If you go over, you're done,
You're
dude. You know? But it's pretty high. I'll tell you that. I'll give you a hint.
Oh fuck, dude. I just
brutal.
like who cleans them? Does he have a fucking dildo cleaning lady? Like, I have so many questions.
Well, that's
that I
how they
need
knew they were
answers to.
used.
Okay. I see you. I see you.
Got him
Rabbit.
before cleaning day.
In the pool in the back.
Yeah, just
throw 'em
they
in the
just
pool.
dip them in the water with that chlorine. It's good. You're good,
Toss them in the
man.
pool. Yeah.
But then, hey, I was listening to the last podcast on the left, and they were talking about this, and they were like, "What if he gets put in the same prison where Suge Knight is?" Right? And I'm like, "Shit, that would be so cool if there was like
Beef.
a in-house feud between Suge Knight and Puff Daddy."
Oh, interesting. Isn't Suge in protective custody? I'm not sure. I don't know, but I would think.
Maybe I don't know. I'm not sure, but you know, it's just fan fiction. You know.
Fiction.
For the
Like,
fun.
yeah. I mean, it's nothing's gonna happen. You know, he got arrested. Like, come on. I still don't believe he got arrested. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It took so long,
Well,
too. I don't. Were they just getting the facts together? Was it like not enough on the original?
They're probably
I
building
don't
a case
know
now.
at all.
Yeah.
The
probably
first
building a
1,000
case.
dildos they found weren't enough.
Not enough.
They
Yeah.
needed 2,000
Yeah, we
more.
need
Listen.
more evidence.
owning a bunch of dildos isn't illegal. Okay, they gotta find.
Yeah.
They gotta find. a crime.
There's a weird law in the state of Texas. That says you can only have X amount of like sex toys in your car.
Come and take it, brother. Come and take
come. Amen, brother. Amen.
That needs to be a
Amen.
shit so bad.
it. You want my? Come and kiss
God,
me.
come and take it. Come and kiss me real soft on the lips. No, dude. Like I just remember that law when I was younger, just randomly finding that law somewhere, and it was like, this is probably the coolest thing I've ever read. Texas is pretty tight.
So who's Cameron? A rapper, I guess.
Cameron.
Cameron. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like there's a video of him talking about an old interview where he was talking
Oh,
about finding.
isn't that his old bodyguard?
No, I think Cameron was like a just another rapper under Bad Boy or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, Killer Cam.
Oh yeah.
I wish I knew the answer to that. I just, you know, after Coolio, I was out of rap. I was out of the rap game after Coolio, you know.
But apparently he was
Really?
trying to get that guy to like join in on some of the debauchery with him, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, there's so many stories of like people saying, "Oh, I was invited to do this. Oh, I saw two dudes kissing and I was just walking by trying to find a bathroom." And like there's so many crazy stories that are coming out like that. But everyone also goes, "I don't want to say any names." That's the big thing. Like they want to tell all these stories, but they don't want to say any names. And I get privacy and stuff, but at the same time, like it's not really
I'd be
validating
sitting like
any
a
of these
bird.
crazy stories.
Oh, they'll
Kanye
me
has to
too.
have been there.
Yeah, they'll meet to him. It's the same shit's gonna happen, man. Same thing happened with R. Kelly, where it took so long, right? He was doing it since like the fucking '90s or whatever, and so it's just gonna like you said, probably just gonna take a little bit of time, and all of a sudden, when everybody looks left and right and goes, "I'm safe," okay, this is everything I saw. This is who was there. I got videos of it. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, that's probably what's gonna end up happening, bro. But like,
What was the actual crime though?
Trafficking. There was some trafficking stuff. I was trying to look that up right now to figure out exactly
trafficking?
what. Yeah, there's a lot of like trafficking and
A lot of mind fucking.
yeah.
Now that's Chris Angel, dog.
But that's mind freak, dog.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. You're right.
Mind fucking.
mind
Total
free.
mind fuck.
Well, and then he had the video
Mind
come out
freak off?
to where he beat it. Was it his girlfriend that he beat at the hotel?
I don't know.
He beat the crap out of her, and so that's he gave this like half-assed shitty apology too, where he was just like, I know I wasn't right, but I'm gonna try to do better. Kind of just a bullshit excuse.
I mean, we should have known that Puff Daddy was a villain when he kept shutting down the studio in the making the band. You know what I mean? They weren't even doing anything wrong. He just shut the studio
Shutting
down.
the studio down, yo. Yo, the Dave Chappelle skit.
I'm shutting the studio
my
down
God.
for a sex party. is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it
Get out
is.
the
Next
dildos.
This is the dildo room when we're not using it for recording. So
So it is racketeering and sex trafficking as of right now.
Yeah.
He's actually in jail
Racketeering.
right now.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, he's
Well,
detained.
he tried to
Have
warn
y'all
us. He would always say, "I thought I told you that we don't stop." So
Can't
we
stop,
should've
won't
known.
stop. Bad boys for life.
Hey, I can't stop. I told you, I literally can't.
Yeah, I literally told you I can't stop. I'm a
Have y'all
bad
seen-
boy.
Have y'all seen that meme? You remember that prison movie with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence?
Yes.
Somebody photoshopped
Life.
yes, R. Kelly's face and P. Diddy's face on their
Oh, yeah.
faces while they were eating lunch in the cafeteria or whatever.
Oh,
It's
shit,
so
I didn't see
fucking
that.
good, dude.
Hell yeah.
They'll be Sally's.
Well, Puff Daddy, you know, you used to be someone's hero, I'm sure. I was always,
He's a
you know,
superstar.
I
what he
was
are.
obviously into Biggie. I really did like some of those first songs that Diddy came out with, like
Puff
You know.
Daddy and the Family was
no,
a sick
what
record.
the Grandmaster Flash ripoff, push us, cuss,
Yeah.
close, like that shit was kind of
Yeah.
tight. But that whole
fuck
album
with
was
the-
like the whole album was samples from other shit, you know, like heavy. So there was a point where I was like, quit ripping everyone off just to make new songs, you know, just make original shit.
Oh well.
I didn't realize how much of that there is in the hip hop industry until probably just a couple of
That's
years
all
ago.
it is.
Yeah,
Dude,
Yeah.
like so,
Yeah.
like everybody. I mean, like even like Kanye and all that shit. Like, and then I found out that if you, I mean, I knew this from when we were recording, but if you change the pitch of a voice, then you're allowed to use it because then it's technically not that actual sample, and you can't get copyright infringement. I was like, holy crap! So that's why everything that Kanye does is, you know, it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
not like the actual. It's like he just takes shit and just spins it all the way up. Jay-Z, all that stuff, everything that Timberland does, or most of the stuff, it's good stuff. But like, damn, I'm like, it's like that. I'm like, I want to take my shot at trying to make a few beats. You know, like just grab
Yeah.
something that's catchy from the '70s and just speed it up.
Exactly. It's all
yeah.
everything. Every song's a sample.
Yeah.
In
Crazy.
Oh,
That's how it started.
oh.
And that's how it ends.
Yeah. Well, you know,
No, it ends country because that's what they're. every
Yeah, that's yeah. You
every
start
rapper's
out.
going country now.
Yeah, dude. But that's cool though.
Is it?
I mean,
Dude, speaking of country, Mark Davis, my old bass player, he does in-ear monitors for Jelly Roll, bro. He's been working for him
oh damn.
since like years ago when he was playing like small venues, and then he put
Mark
out that
Davis.
he put out that fucking "Somebody Save Me" song, and Mark's like, all of a sudden, I am like on the red carpet with this dude. Like, I'm like, damn, pretty
Dude, that's
decent
tight.
gig, man. Yo, long story short, Jelly Roll played here. He's from Nashville. He's from like whatever 10 minutes south of Nashville, and he played at the Bridgestone Arena, and he sold it out like 16,000 people. It was super sick. And then Mark got us passes to go to the after party. And to go to the after party, you had to go in a line and put your cell phones in that thing that locks, like when you go to a comedy show or something. So you can't have cell phones, you can't take photos. And then after you go through that line, you wait in the line and go in the back. And it was a $150,000 catered party with like every food you could imagine, ice luge, like shots coming down the ice luge, DJ, like it was the craziest. I was like, this cost us the tour. This costed a full tour right now, from what I know. And Jelly Roll wasn't even there. He got a bus to sit on with his friends outside. Just went to the bus station. Like,
but did you have to bring your own lube, or wasn't a freak off party? I guess.
And then handed out dildos.
It was safe. It was a safe food party.
It's dildo night here at the after party. Everyone take a dildo.
It was.
You can give them away as party favors, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't give them to people when they come into the party. That's just rude.
When they leave,
when they leave, I came to this
dildo
Jelly Roll
on your
party.
way out, you know?
All I got was this big dildo.
Get a goodie bag. It's got an iPad in it. It's got a dildo.
They have small dildos
lube.
Big dildo, small
dildo. You name it, baby.
It's got an edible arrangement.
Oh, very funny.
Oh, fucking goddamn.
All right. Well, what else we got on the news docket?
You know
what? No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, since we're talking about rap, you want to knock out our next rap topic that we've been.
We've sat on this and we forgot to bring it up a couple times. Speaking of a big party where you might end up kissing someone, you got to keep those lips. You got to keep those lips extra moist. So,
lube up.
Sexxy Red. Sexxy Red.
I thought y'all were fucking with me.
No, we were not fucking with you.
No,
okay.
I Googled
Listen.
it. No, just read the names.
Yeah. Sexxy Red has teamed up with, what's the company that she teamed up with to put these out? They're like,
I don't know makeup stuff, so I don't.
Yeah. Well, anyways.
Revlon.
So she joined up with a makeup company.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
And they put out some lip balm. It's like lip balm, and they all have different they're all different colors, and they all have different names.
Meet Paves, a convenient way.
My bad.
It's all good. But yeah, there's a few of them, and
Star. That's who I was trying to think. It was Jeffree Star and them teamed up, right?
Yeah. Zoom in a little bit because we got Coochie Juice is one of them. We got Booty Hole Brown. One of them is just called Nut. But we got Pussy Hole Pink.
Oh no.
Here's where it starts getting bad, right? Maybe you should have cut your menu in half on this one. Use the best ones, the best 5 or whatever. Anyways, she kept going.
The fuck is that?
We got Yellow Discharge.
Fuck.
We have Gonorrhea. Gonorrhea. That's a fucking. Hey,
it's gonorrhea dream, baby.
Hey, excuse me. Hey, will you hand me my lip balm? Which one? Oh, gonorrhea. That's my favorite one.
It's my favorite flavor.
Blue Ball and Sex on My Period. Hello. What the fuck is going on?
We got yeast infection. We got
this.
We got pink
blue
sock.
waffle. Where's the blue waffle at? You know what I mean? Where's the blue waffle?
No, that's
Blue
what's
waffle.
coming to the team up with Sexxy Red on the Denny's menu coming soon.
Oh my God,
Blue
man.
waffle.
See,
So this is where we're at with music, especially hip hop, more mainstream stuff. We seriously are just shameless in what we do, and we name it the most fucked up shit for shock value, and it's crazy to me. Who wants to buy this for their friends?
Everybody.
And be like, well, I mean, maybe
Everybody.
us. I would buy it for y'all, But anyone who I don't,
you don't give me that booty hole brown, bro. I don't fucking want to be your friend no more.
Ask me the booty hole brown. Hey, what's up with that shit-eating grin? Well, funny you should ask because I am wearing booty hole brown.
I have no words. That's fuck. I didn't even know about this.
I had to Google it, and I was so upset when I Googled it. Like, it's real.
Yeah.
It's so real. And it's like, why are our kids so stupid today? Because they allow this. There you go.
This is what we've become.
Yeah.
I,
Well, hey,
we
what
are
do
now.
What do
I saw that
y'all
in
want
my
for
itinerary.
Christmas?
I was like, oh, I'll wait. We'll see what that's about. I'm thinking, like, what could
Yeah.
that be? I'm like, all right, well, it's something interesting to talk about. And like, you went down the list of all the flavors, and I'm
Flavors.
yeah.
That's one word to describe those as flavors.
These are all also on the menu at a doctor's office.
It says that they're fruit scented, by the way.
Oh, God.
That makes it great. Okay.
But okay, so we've talked about like being an executive on Limp Bizkit's label when they're like, hey, we're naming it chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water, and somebody
Right.
goes, you know what, it's a great idea.
Run it.
Yeah.
Run
Who
it.
the fuck is on her PR team that was like, you know what,
Yeah.
we should do that. Let's
Yeah.
name a lipstick color gonorrhea. Let's do that. Can we do that? Yep, let's do it.
Oh, you were
Who
serious?
okays it? Yeah. Okay.
They're like,
You're like,
oh, you were serious? That's right, guys. She's serious. And you heard the bitch. Make it happen.
It just means that there's no rules. Like, you can do anything. You can make any
Yeah.
product you want and just be like, I don't know. That's
Maybe the first guy got fired, right? There's no way we could do that. I'm fired.
she's like, I'm gonna do it one way or another. I can get around you.
You can't do that. You really can't do that. Oh, I'm fired.
All right, well, Greg.
oh, what are you gonna
Greg,
do? Fire me?
have fun. Greg's like, making it happen. I just got promoted.
Oh, dude.
But
Now
yeah.
we have fucking butthole, booty hole Brown and Diddy's dildos. That's where our world is. That's where we're at right now.
Unbelievable, man.
It's
Yeah.
insane.
Maybe
And-
Thanos was right. Maybe we should just.
Thanos
And-
was right.
And I just
Just
want to let
saying.
everybody know that, although we want people to watch this show, the algorithm might not push it out very far because we're covering this subject and reading all these names. So how ironic is that? Because this was like, I was like, I can't wait to talk about this. But YouTube's probably like, no, you shouldn't.
We can wait. We can wait. To talk about it.
We're gonna bury this. We're gonna bury it real deep. Nobody's ever gonna find it.
This is worse than Joe Rogan telling people the vaccine doesn't work. Oh God, we gotta get rid of this.
Damn.
But yeah, that's what we could do nowadays. When we do like team ups, I want to do something cool with a company for either the podcast or my band. That'd be fun. I don't think we'd go this vulgar with it, but doing things
would.
are fun.
Piss in bottles.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever I need energy, I drink piss shots by Rickshaw. Just lemon.
dude,
lime.
I was telling you about that. Like, I literally, because there's a point where we were renting buses or whatever, and you would have like waters lined up next to where you're sleeping, and then sometimes you not want to get up, so you piss in a bottle, and in that bunk it could become a cave, right, real cold. So all the liquid gets cold. You don't know what's what. And then I woke up in the middle of the night one time, and I grabbed a cold bottle of piss, and I thought it was water, and it was the worst thing. I can't believe I actually did that. I was like, oh, what is your piss? Like, your whole life, like, could you imagine drinking your own piss? And I was just like, I'm so thirsty. Go, like, squeezing the bottle. I was like, oh, like, on the floor of the bus, like, real fucking nightmare, man. Dude, Mike did something like that. Mike Mulholland, just to talk about the same similar subject. He was straight edge for a long time, and he was still straight edge at this time. He joined the band. We're on a bus, and I had my bottle of vodka with no label. He didn't know because he didn't drink, in his bunk, and I was on the floor stretching. And he comes on the bus, puts a Tylenol in his mouth, walks behind me, takes the water bottle that he thought it was in his bunk. It's vodka, and he guzzles vodka. And all of a sudden, next to me, I see 2 Tylenols hit the floor. He spits it out all over my shoulder and like the floor, vodka. And he was like, "Yo, dude, like I just broke edge. Like I didn't even want to do that." And I was like, well, "I'm sorry." Like I went to stretch for 2 seconds, Yo,
What you want me to do about it? My bad.
Yeah, dude.
That doesn't
Yeah.
count. You didn't break it.
Yeah.
I know. But then he ended up, he came to the dark side after that, at that point. And John Blake did the same thing. John Blake, straight edge, nothing like that. One day comes to the back line and goes, let me hit that fucking thing. Like, he was so randomly just like, he was always so funny in Europe. He'd ask a German kid, he'd be like, say juice and say Jews. And the German kid would be like, juice. It's the same thing. John's like, no, Jews, say it. Like, he was nuts, man. Like, what a wild guy, man. You want to piss him off, bro. He would walk into the green rooms or to get paid, and the guy would be like, this, that, I don't know. He's like, all right, that's cool. You tell me which finger I'm biting off. Which one?
Yeah.
Like, he would say shit like that, and I'd be like, damn, that's why we got him as a tour manager. Like, he gets it done. So, like, they're like, yo, if Emmure comes, you got to pay them. Like, word got around. Like,
Look around.
oh, so funny. But, yeah, I drank piss and sucked.
No, dude, I would turn the light above my bench seat on, and I'd be like, no, fuck it, I'll wait until we stop. I'm not even checking. Because people would piss in bottles, and then when I toured with Iwabo, I know Mikey pissed in everything, so I wouldn't drink anything off the floor. Like, I just wouldn't do it because I didn't want to taste Mikey's piss or his dick or anything else, so it just wasn't happening.
Yeah, I mean, Mikey was like, just like Frankie was infamous for, being standoffish. Mikey was infamous for pooping and pissing everywhere. All the time.
Everywhere.
And so, yeah. I mean, we've talked about this on the podcast before, but yeah,
so many
he was
times.
obsessed with poop, and he he had pooped in a pizza box and put it in someone's fridge before.
Oh,
And he pooped in a
story.
big gulp
Yeah.
cup, and someone sucked the air out of the cup, and then he pooped in a.
Remember the giant the poop check mark in Houston?
Yeah,
he pooped check mark, huge poop in a box and held it up and was like, everybody.
It was like one of those little beer boxes that you would put like a 6-pack or a 12-pack like all, and it would line the bottom. Or he pooped in it, and it was like a huge fucking Nike check mark turd. And then he took a picture next to it.
Or a poosh.
He took his picture next to it, holding his arm, holding his arm up against it for size reference, because he was like obsessed with size of his poops. He would shit at a gas station and wipe his ass and put all of the poop toilet paper in the trash can next to the toilet, just so he could see his poop and take a picture of it.
Okay. All right, we're good on the poop. Let's talk. Let's talk about something way
Shenanigans. So
But,
much
like-
shit-nanigans.
Too many.
But yeah,
shenanigans.
what's next? I know we have a couple. We got some drama, right? There was some Gavin Dance drama because Andrew.
Did they break up? Did somebody
No.
assault somebody again? What's going on?
Jesus.
No, Andrew just called some. God damn it, Fuzz.
What?
Anyways, what, dude? You know what? When you pick a subject, we're usually inviting of it. You're just like being real mean. You know what I mean? I don't like it.
They fucking suck as humans and everything.
Anyways,
I know they're your
let's get to
friends.
that
I'm
story.
sorry. Oh, they fucking suck.
Listen, I don't just talk shit about your friends just because.
Yeah, because
you
me
know?
and you have the same fucking friends.
Well, I don't know what to say to that. I have more friends than you, Fuzz. Anyways,
Well, my dad can beat up your dad, so how's that?
well, your dad's racist.
No shit, he is.
Anyways, guys, back to the subject. We're doing the subject. Anyways, Andrew from Dance Gavin Dance called some fans out in a comment because they were talking a little bit of shit about the live show. And it's all understandable. This is all things that we've wanted to say as a band to fans. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
So let
Toby?
me just kind of give you the summary of everything that I saw with this. Apparently, someone made a post and he says it's from a burner account in some I think a Reddit sub or something saying that he's playing backing tracks and that it's Tillian's backing tracks. It's not even his own. So they're saying like, you know, he's playing this. He's not singing the songs when they're live. And there was something about the sound guy from. So there was a sound guy that was there that witnessed it as well. There's
Bad
like
Omens, right?
Bad
Wasn't
Omens,
it
yeah.
like a sound guy from Bad Omens. Yeah, I know that guy. He's from Dallas. Like
So I just started looking at Facebook because everyone was talking about it on Facebook. But apparently they were saying that Tillian's girlfriend is the one that like is the one that made the original post. So he ended up getting pissed off, and he ended up making some like. He made some posts on Instagram. I guess I didn't grab those screen grabs, but he was basically told by record label, whoever, he says the Suits, told him to delete his comments about, you know, being pissed about this. But he went on this whole rant saying that...
Yeah, he went on a rant, and he was pretty much just being like, bro, like, every fucking band uses backing tracks for harmonies. And he was like, I literally went into the studio and recorded all of my own harmonies. And this is just things bands do. And, you know, like, and the comment that was trying to call him out was saying, like, no, these were all Tillian's backing tracks. And y'all are fake. And, you know, things that fans do that have never played in a band. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So.
Oh,
but
they
yeah.
were, here it is. This is one of the original... Like, this is the original post saying that he was using auto-tune and so he could hit the high notes and stuff. But yeah, he was saying that, you know, his excuse was who was doing the backing vocals in the band before. He's like, it was me. Those are me. I'm the backing vocalist guy. You know, I just moved to the front now. So, I don't know. It was some big drama. Someone was talking about suing someone over stuff, and like it kind of got ugly for like a day and a half.
It was just funny that it seemed like a Yelp review where the restaurant is like, yo, shut the fuck up, get the fuck out of here. Like, I'm the person, you know, doing the stuff. You're just someone who doesn't understand how it all works. Kiss my ass. And then, you know, and then he had that comment that came later that was like, the Suits are telling me to take it down, but I just want you to know I'm sticking by this. Like, grow up, you know.
Yeah,
but,
fuck them.
Yeah, but I thought it's funny to think that, I don't know, amidst all the controversy, and they're on a tour that's like, you know, kind of every band has this like thing going on with it where people want to hate. And he's just like, shut the fuck up. Like, that's pretty rad to me, honestly. So.
Yeah. The last comment that he made was basically like, he was trying to say like, you know, I'm not throwing a lot of shade at Tillian, but like he's a good vocalist, he's talented. You know, he kind of, I don't think he backtracked. I think the first post was just straight out of anger and not thinking. And then I think this, and he even said he's not deleting. But it was more to backtrack and kind of be like, look, he is a very talented, and I've got some big shoes to fill, but like this is me. You know, it's just frustrating that people want to talk smack. So, yeah.
Who cares? Oh, I don't mean that in a shitty way. Like, dude, you're on a huge tour doing something that not very many people ever get to do. Who gives a fuck what some stupid kid in his mom's fucking basement says about your goddamn backing tracks? Fucking cares? What is it like? Why make such a big deal about it? Everybody does it. That's all been, you know, everybody knows it now. It's all out there. Everybody uses backing tracks. Who gives a shit if it's you or Tillian or any of the other pieces of shit that were in the band before you? Who cares? What does it matter? I don't understand why people
this is just the type of thing where like someone, it's like a customer, right? Like you're always supposed to be like, yeah, we're cool, we're tight, I'm here to get you your beer, and then the customer pops off and you're like, bro, why the fuck are you here? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's your job to keep it cool, and you're just the talent, you know. And it's like, but every now and then, a customer or a fan is just out here saying some bullshit, and you just can't help but be like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, chill out. Like, yeah, that's the way I interpret it, because I have to deal with that as a bartender. So,
yeah, but as a bartender, this dude, whoever's bitching about that, paid fucking hundreds of dollars for a ticket. The show's over with. He's not getting his fucking money back. And so who gives a shit? You already got the kid's money. Who gives a fuck if he's talking shit about you?
yeah, but it's like if you were playing a shows and people were like, you're fucking triggering your kick. You're not really playing that. And then you specifically saw that comment and were just like, I'm going to have to say something this one time.
I wouldn't care.
I was actually playing my
Yeah.
I wouldn't care. And you know what? I used to trigger my kick. I don't care. Like, oh my God, fucking just, it's so dumb to get pissed off at people talking shit. It's like Johnny Radke getting mad at fans talking shit about him. Who fucking cares? Dear God, who fucking cares? You're making money. You're living the dream. Shut the fuck up and just do your thing and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah, for sure. Like in the beginning, you know, I always wanted to say something. People would say such nasty, negative shit, or, you know, the whole 000 thing, or, you know, just. And then again, I really came around real quick to the fact of like, dude, if you then you take my guitar, write a better record, do it. Well, why aren't you doing it then? You know what I mean? Like, so it, kind of talking to myself, psyching myself out of it. I never really commented or said anything, and there was a lot of bad and evil things said, and then at that point it was like, okay, they're still going to end up usually, all right, they go to the show because their buddy wants to see wherever they're there, and it's like they're not going to say anything to you, and I know learn that. And what I always tell people, I'm just like, look, like anyone that matters to you isn't going to tell you that. Like, I didn't have the dude from Korn come up to me and be like, you guys are corny, you guys suck, you guys play open, you know what I mean? Like, it's people that are, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but so far below that want to tell you things that act like they're so far above to be like, you can't react. You can't snap off. I mean, I know you want to. I know it's like you just want to, once in a while, you just want to say something, but like, that's the hardest thing to do. And I respect that when you could just kind of roll on and just let it go, like do your thing. And then they get even madder. I think that's what it was. I mean, I know sometimes Frank would respond. He would engage with that shit every so often. I kind of just left it alone, and like people, 000. Yo, this kid in Europe gave me a shirt. He made a shirt that was like a bunch of zeros on it. Emmure tabs. You know, my German humor. Here's your shirt. And I was like, cool, man. I appreciate it. Take a photo with me. I was like, sure. You know, like, what am I gonna knock him out right there? Like, I could have went one of two ways, but like, man. So I see both sides of it. But honestly, it's if you could be the bigger man and not make the post and not say all that, you're better off. And yeah, like we used all the like, and that's why people that mattered came up. It's like, you guys sound huge live, like bands we tour with or other bands that I look up to, but like, you guys sound so sick. Like, that's because we did these things that people that don't know talk the shit about. So it's like, again, I'm a very logical person, so I'm like, logic wins there. Like, yeah, you might be mad, you might be like, why can't you play, where's your eighth, you use 8 arms, play all the parts, you know, like, yeah. You can't do it. You know, you got to make the most sense. So, oh man, oh boy, with everybody.
Well, yeah. With this specific drama, it sounds like it's just because it's Tilly, the
old singer or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's the old singer's new girlfriend, allegedly. So I think that's where like the majority of the feelings get hurt is like, oh,
the anger, yeah.
But also like, I don't know if Andrew ever fronted a band before, and maybe like, because he kind of just got thrown into it, and he is filling big shoes. A lot of people really enjoyed Tillian's vocals, so it may just be like a really big stage of you know, harsh criticism.
Well, it's always going to happen whenever an old singer leaves and a new singer joins. There's just going to be a bunch of fucking hoo-ha.
Mike,
all
why
over
do you
the
say
internet.
it like that? Mike, why do you say it like that?
Because I've been directly involved, and
no, I just wanted you to say it because I feel like it gets brought up
yeah.
so much, and I love it.
Yeah,
you just say it so sad every time.
It is. I mean, it is sad. It's real fucking sad. You know. I mean, it's the same thing with what's going on with you know, Linkin Park and all that shit. It's just like, no matter how many people love it with the new way it's going, there's going to be a shit ton of haters in any scenario. So,
Yep.
it's tough to deal with, but I feel bad for Andrew having to deal with his general manager later for reading all the comments that he says. You know what I mean? He's probably gonna get wrote up. I'll tell you that much. But what's the other one we had? Wasn't there another drama?
Yeah,
the
drama with Jane's addiction. Actually, everything else we have is just drama.
Yeah. Jane's addiction, though. I know FUZZ does not care about Jane's addiction at all, but I used to like Jane's addiction a lot.
Yeah,
they got into it. They are pretty old though. Look at him. He looks like he's a few years away from being the guy from Poltergeist. You know what I mean? Like both
Dude,
of them.
Watching him push Dave Navarro was like so comical. Like it took everything he had to put. He put everything he had into that push, and it looked like he just kind of touched him on.
Yeah,
the
he was
shoulder,
like,
dude.
Yeah.
So, like honestly, I think it's genius. I think it probably boosts their plays on Spotify. It boosts everything. Like I think it's genius. I don't think they actually fought.
Dude,
yeah, nowadays,
stage,
yeah, more than ever nowadays, dude. That shit will do it for you because there's such a big spotlight, right, on the internet. Everybody's there. Like everybody's watching and seeing him even more than the past. So you're right, probably. Like that's a good stunt to have us talking about it. Plus the millions, right?
Do we want to watch it?
Please.
I mean, we can, yeah.
I love it because reason for it, I don't know if you've read any of the articles, but
I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why.
It's hilarious. No, the articles are hilarious.
Doesn't it say that stage volume is like the fucking
stage
problem?
volume?
Yeah,
everybody's way up, and he's having to scream to sing his part, so he was mad about that.
Which mostly has nothing to do with the band, especially if you've like already started and everybody was like, "Okay, we're good, let's start." You know,
Didn't you have a sound check?
and then you're gonna like,
right, exactly, a fucking sound check, dude. Like what the fuck?
Well, he might not have showed up for that.
He looks like Colin Farrell.
He just looks crazy.
He said fuck you right there. He is pissed. Look, he's confused too. He's like, what the fuck's happening?
I'm gonna watch it again. He didn't do anything. He tried.
Like it's like this was the easiest man to subdue.
Yeah.
Like a cardboard cutout.
I like that he went out there and fist bumped some fans. He was just like, I don't know what's going on.
What a
All
maniac.
he ever did was date Carmen Electra. Other than that, he's garbage.
Yeah. So, well, the funniest part though about this is that they just released a song like days after this incident happened. They released a new song called "True Love."
Oh my god, I didn't even know
Hell
that.
yeah.
Yeah. So like I read
dope.
that it was the second single off of that they've released with the original lineup since they've been back together.
What if he just got so pissed off right at that moment because he thought about all those seasons of Ink Master and he's like, fucking Dave Navarro, fucking talking shit about some of my favorite tattoos.
Yeah,
Lose
and that's a whole nother fucking can of worms. But I just I don't know. We've all been there. At least wait till when you get off the stage. Come on, man. Like I know there was tension. That's why they went on hiatus the last time.
Right.
But
yeah,
wasn't this all the original members on stage for the first time in like a very, very long time? There was still tension too.
He's like, I can't even look at that Dave Navarro.
He dated,
but yeah, it is funny though. It is funny to think about. Like, imagine being on stage with your band and like you're like, damn, these fools are up way too loud. I can't hear myself. I'm gonna fight them.
On site.
Yeah.
Like I said, ours was usually alcohol induced,
right?
And we
if you're gonna real bands fight at like 3 a.m. after the bar.
the fucking truck stop parking lot, like a real band.
Like, you said some shit to me earlier, dude. And I like that.
And then you wake up the next day and you just go, "What the fuck happened last night?"
Yeah. And you're like,
And there's always that one sober member, that was like, "All right, here we go. Let me tell you what happened last night."
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. Gather round.
So
that's fun.
they called off the remaining tour dates that they had, and they
man.
basically said that they were gonna go back on hiatus.
Yeah.
So
They had
I'm
one.
upset.
Did they have one show? Was it their
I
full
don't-
show back?
I don't know if it was just the one or
I think it was the
Honestly,
first
that's
part
pretty
of a lot
fucking
of
baller.
shows. Yeah.
That's some fucking rock star baller shit is what that is.
you're not.
Can you
wrong.
imagine though if you were like gaslighting the rest of your band into like just not doing the tour? You like, how can I get out of this? Right? What
I
could
would
I
do
do to
something
get
like
out of
that.
this tour? Like,
I'm gonna yell about his guitar volume.
yeah, I'm gonna fight Dave Navarro on stage. That'll definitely cancel the rest of the tour, right?
Honestly, I mean, like,
that was
I would
Matt
fight
as a-
Dave Navarro on stage too.
Yeah, he's like, I was right in the middle of fucking watching some Breaking Bad, and I'm trying to finish that shit.
I was doing my third rewatch of Breaking Bad.
Yes.
I think he was pissed because he was wearing a fedora. Also, You can only have one
We have one fedora per group,
One fedora.
dude. One
Everybody knows
fedora
that.
per group.
He's like,
Oh, fuck.
damn it, Navarro! I told you I was gonna wear a fedora.
Yeah.
Could you imagine
We
them both
talked about
walking?
the hats in the green room. We talked about them, and you wore it out
talked
here
about
anyway.
You wore your scarf too? You wore your fucking scarf too? Damn it. But also, hey, speaking of bands going on hiatus, there's one more news thing that happened today, and Veil of Maya announced that they're going on a hiatus.
Yeah, wow, I saw that.
Yeah, and they've canceled the rest of their dates. And to me, it's a shame. I've been a huge fan of that band since before I ever met them. And I've personally loved all the changes that they went through in their music making. But I'm sure this is probably Mark being involved in a lot of other things. And Veil being, one of the smaller things in his wheelhouse, probably.
Yeah, I didn't know. I
Such a
mean, like
sweetheart.
we all did show. Yeah, we did shows and stuff. We toured with them plenty. Took them out on tour. They opened up tours. Like kind of went up and up and up throughout time. And then as time went on, Mark got like a little more. He's always been awesome. A little more obscure and like artsy and like the Pink and all the things. And I remember seeing this all.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, he's doing his thing. This is awesome. And then I saw them recently here. We hung out. All was good. And then I saw that. Yeah, I think today, right, is when that posted. And I was like, I wonder. I don't know what else he's doing. Like, I'm friends with him on Facebook, but you know how that algorithm goes. Like, if we didn't engage,
Yeah.
like once a week, he's gone. I haven't seen him post in a while, so I didn't even know what he's been up to.
I know that he was filling in for Don Broco for a while, and they they're doing like pretty big shit, like lots of
Yeah.
and
So good.
and that
Fucking
I
so good.
I could swear I saw him doing something else with another musician that's pretty big too. So it's kind of like, I don't know. He's probably just
That's
getting
good.
involved in a lot of stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, it's sad, but we all grow. And
True.
sometimes playing in a band, it's hard, especially if everybody's like, I don't like your riffs, change them.
Yeah, but then he
"Dang."
writes a breakdown with that riff. Down, out, down,
Oh,
out,
that's
down,
so
out,
good.
out. That's
Bam.
the most genius thing you can fucking do.
yeah, yeah.
Like, you know what?
Yeah.
You're making fun of me. Watch this. I'm gonna put this in a fucking song.
What is that song called? Punisher or something like that?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
I think it is.
So good.
Yeah.
They got his bound out, down, out, down, out, and then the fucking this breakdown is so good.
And it's a sick breakdown,
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fun.
Not
Wait,
safe. What is it? Not safe
Safe
to
to
swim
Swim?
today. Yeah,
Yeah.
that song, dude. That record or EP, whatever it was,
Yeah, that was
This was
good.
their first full length.
they doing something. Them and Born of Osiris were like doing things that nobody else was doing, and it was so sick. I saw them on tour together 1,000 times. I swear to God, they were in Dallas.
Oh, yeah.
every other week. Every other
Yo,
week. Those
And
guys
after
were
the
in
burial,
Dallas.
it was them two after the burial, just rocking it. And again, we toured with them a lot too. We had a similar situation. I talked about it on my YouTube. channel where we had a song. So Frank got an email from somebody, some angry fan that was like, "Here, make a song out of this," and it was like a ton of zeros and dashes, like tablature of just zeros. And Frank sent it to me, and he's like, "Hey man, can you do something with this?" I was like, "I guess, I don't know." And then I read it, and I just like kind of went along with it. I just started playing, and then I wrote one of the songs, "News in Arizona," that
Yes.
that whole pattern was from some angry fan that was like, "Here, in your scumbags, fucking write something. Go ahead." And Frank's like, "Go ahead."
Genius. That song fucking rips too, dude. That song is so good.
Dude, that's
Just
fun.
wrote the whole riff, one lick. It was so funny. So like, Velma, yes, doing the same thing.
Hell yeah, dude.
I don't know. It
That's-
sucks because I didn't care for the singer that they have now, but their last 2 records that he was on, they were pretty fucking solid, dude. Like they
So
were.
Brandon, the original,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Whichever one is in it now. I don't know
Oh,
him at all.
Lucas. That's the new
Lucas.
singer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh
That dude, like he ripped live. Like, I thought it was cool, but I also am just that old school dude that's like, I really liked Vale's first stuff, and they never wrote anything like it again, so I don't care anymore. Type of thing. I also like, knuckle dragger, beatdown, dumb shit. So, technical music is just dumb to me. So it's just I just need power. I just need power chords. 2 steps,
Yeah.
and power chords, baby. That's all I need.
Hell yeah. But I guess I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. They're pretty tight with me, and secretly been a fan. It's like one of those things where you're like, I don't talk about how I like your band around you, dude. That's stupid.
Ever do that?
But yeah, they will be missed. I feel like everyone's starting to go on hiatus. Maybe it's just too expensive out there.
But what
it's
it
hard out
is
there for a band.
it's because Jane's Addiction started it, and then everybody's like, well, if they're gonna do it, we better
I'm
do
going
it
too. Watch this.
Yeah, yeah. How do you live your life? I live mine according to what Jane's Addiction is doing right now. So
We're wearing fedoras and going on hiatus, bitch. That's what
Yeah.
we're fucking doing.
that's right. And they look at Steven Tyler's wardrobe and they live through him. So it's all a circle. It's a circle.
WWJAD.
Well, guys, anything else you wanna rip on any more subjects? That's all we got for the week.
I mean, could literally nerd out about a whole bunch of Emmure stuff, but I'm not going to because I don't want to do that.
With the trolling, I was gonna bring up the Iwabo also used trolling to make merch. One of our most popular shirts was whenever Iwabo first got announced for being signed, the first comment was "Metal just got gay," and that was our most popular shirt throughout the
own so
entire
many of
career
them.
of the band. So,
The white ones and the black ones, dude. The
Yeah.
white one and the black one.
hell yeah! So trolls sometimes they're necessary,
There it is.
Metal just got gay.
They were so good.
But
Was it a foil? No.
Those foil were
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah, it was a foil, dude. It was a
Yeah.
foil.
Oh.
that foil. You washed that foil once, and it was toast.
Yeah,
I had a
I
really
know.
it was like the same foil they use in like paintings and stuff. It was just
Oh, yeah,
like
dude.
that paper thin. They're just like laying it on there.
I had this really wicked "See You Next Tuesday" shirt that had the foil and it had their logo and it said "Party On" or something like that. Washed it once, it was fucking toast. It was done.
Yeah. That despised icon, the gold one, that one was like
That was like one of the
Oh.
first ones to do it. Yeah.
yeah.
That was sick.
I wish somebody would just bring back the big letter shirts.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Whitechapel fucking Left for Dead shirts and like all those, man. Like we need more of those. Even the Emmure shirt, one of my favorite ones was the E logo, the huge E on the front. Genius. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Simple and amazing. And I fucking wish I wasn't so fat so I could still wear mine, but I can't.
Dude, I wish I still had some. I have some of the old merch. I got a couple of different things stashed away, but man, I wish now that I look back on it, I just took one of each every tour, because every tour we had like fucking 30 shirts. We had such a different spread, and like some of the shirts did all right, but some of them were so hot, and now some of them people are offering $200 for some of the stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness, man! The demos, the freaking demos that I burnt on a computer, sat there myself one after another that we would hand out. Man, people are paying like top dollar for those, and I'm like, I don't have any of them. I'd have to buy one for $200 to get it back.
See, that's where you
Burn
burn
another
more. Yeah, burn more and be like,
Yeah.
these are original burns, and just sell them, profit.
Smart.
These are like I always wish I kept tour posters. Like I remember scooping up a few, but then there was times like in Europe, like the one we were on, especially the speaker box
Yeah.
we did, it was like I remember we had like 4 huge posters for that tour, and somebody was like, "Do you want one?" And I was like, "Man, taking it all the way back to America, it's gonna get fucked
Folding
up
it in the,
somehow."
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah. So I would just like I'd say no, and then there's times where I'm like, I really wish I would have taken that, dude, just to have something, to remind me of all the dates and stuff, rather than just the little tour laminate.
Yeah, I have the
But yeah.
laminates. I have like stacks like this of the
Yeah.
laminates. That's one thing I definitely kept. I used to keep like plane tickets, weird shit. I started throwing stuff out. I'm like, what? Can't even, like, the print went away. I can't even see
Yeah.
where I went on this ticket.
Yeah.
I was like, this is dumb. Yeah. But yeah, a couple of posters, a couple of shirts, a couple of random small things like Emmure lighters. I remember I was so stoked. I was like, I'm taking a box. I'm taking a box of these Bic lighters.
Yeah.
They're official.
I still have all my Iwabo lighters. I have like 4 Iwabo lighters, the green
Oh,
ones.
I wrestled a bowl once. That one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They did
I
good, man.
just-
$5 all day. $5, $5. They cost
Hell
like
yeah.
80 cents or $1 or something.
Yeah. Oh god, merch was so much cooler in the early fucking 2000s, 2010. That shit was way cooler
Hell yeah.
and cheaper. And way
Yeah,
cheaper.
dude.
Honestly, I went to that Slipknot show the other day, and I was surprised at Slipknot. The highest priced shirt was $55,
Oof.
and I was fucking surprised about that. I was like,
Like a long sleeve or
yeah, and
Yeah.
I was expecting like some $75 to $100 shirts or some shit.
The Incubus long sleeve I got last week was like 55 or 60. Like it wasn't too bad. A Slipknot
Yeah.
one was like 55 or 60. That's not too bad.
But they
Good.
probably could pump up those prices though. I bet a lot of people would still pay.
Wu-Tang and Nas wasn't too bad. When I went to that recently, but I was like
That's so
expecting it
awesome.
to be expensive. Oh, it was so sick. Yo, and Eric, Eric Gerloff? Eric from Red Eye Flight. Remember him? Remember that band? Is that familiar?
Oh, it does.
They're on Victory. Either way, he does sound for the and tour manages that shit. And Kalen, who used to work with the Acacia Strains on that tour, so I randomly and literally saw him at the merch, and then I saw dude doing sound. So he was like, "Yeah, I'll give you some passes." So we went back there and like, yo, walked right by dudes, Method Man smoking a blunt with his boy. Like everybody's changing out of their shit. I was like, this is crazy. Got into
That's
the
fucking awesome.
production catering, my favorite part. Like, yo, it was so funny. She was laughing so hard because I was like, can I open that? Is it like every time we go backstage, have a couple of drinks, and I'm like, can I have that snack? Are those chips? Can I?
But yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, I was stoked at the Slipknot show that I ran into a friend that worked in the, just in the concession or in one of the bars, and they were like, "What do you want?" And I'm like, "A beer." "That's it?" I'm like, "Okay, a beer and a shot." "That's better." And then I'm like, "How much? 1,000?" And they're like, "No, take it, just fucking go." And I'm like, "Yo, I've never been to like a big place like that and got my drinks for free." You know what I mean? I was like, this saved me half of my bank account.
Now you know how the pretty girls feel, Rick. Now you know how the pretty girls feel.
Yeah. I felt pretty.
Drink it in, brother.
Literally.
But yeah, we're it's been 2 hours and that'll do, So sometimes when it runs more than 2 hours, it's I have to piss pretty bad. So Jesse, thanks for coming on. Do you wanna promote anything you got going on in your life?
Yeah, I've just been doing the YouTube Jesse K Jams with a Z, and I got like 30 videos on there now. So like every 2 or 3 weeks, I'll post a video, whether it's like a guitar playthrough of one of the songs, all the way ranging from the EP to like the 6th record that I was part of. I did a 4-part series on there talking about the beginning of me and the band, how it all started, and just like some behind the scenes stuff. And soon enough, I'm going to be doing some covers with my fiance. She sings. She does like soul, R&B. She could do anything, like random ballads of heavy bands that I listen to. She'll like sing along to. So I'm like, we got to get this going. So soon enough, we're gonna cover a couple of songs. I'll play the guitar, produce it, and should do some singing. I just figured do something a little different for some fun.
Nice.
That's about it. That's what I got going on. Otherwise, I'm just here working remotely and fixing generators on the phone. That's what I do.
Hell yeah! If you ever want to cover a Korn song, let me know. Just saying.
I would always love to cover a Korn song. Jeez.
Dude, I'm down, dude. I love me some Korn.
Actually,
Toby.
Before I go
ahead.
real quick. Funny story. Korn. I think the song's called "Pestilence to Sorrow." Are you familiar with that song?
No.
So I wrote "Dogs Get Put Down" from their song BBK, like the vibe of that song.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I want to vibe like that. And then I wrote "Dogs Get Put Down," the riff. And on their new record, they re-ripped me off, us. And it sounds exactly like "Dogs Get Put Down." Their shit goes, if you want to pull it up, called Korn "Pestilence to Sorrow" or something like that. I almost wanted to make a video on my YouTube out of it. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go all that far because I love the band and appreciate it. It's not like calling them out, but I'm like, yo, I'm so humbled and honored that that's a thing. Like they probably heard that and they were like, with the whammy vibe, we're gonna go back to our old roots, which is me vibing from their original roots. You know what I mean? So so crazy. If you get a moment, listen to that song, you're gonna be like, holy shit, this sounds exactly like "Dogs Get Put Down." I remember listening to the album and it blew my mind, but that's about all I gotta say about Korn. Love him.
Came full circle, dude.
It did.
Toby, tell us about your podcast.
Yeah, I do a retro video game review show. It is called The Secret Levels Podcast. We go over one old game per episode, and we let you know if it's still worth playing. We go over the history, the story, the gameplay, and, see if it's something that's fun or not. I also stream on Twitch. I play old video games, twitch.tv/TobyVonDoom. Let's see, Fuzz and Rabbit.
You go, Rabbit.
That's it. Sums it up.
Yeah, we got a shitty little band called Terminated. You wanna check us out? We got a Spotify, we got YouTube, we got Instagram. Yeah, go check us out. Hopefully we'll be recording this fall and possibly playing shows next year. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully. Maybe some new music for everybody. We'll see. We'll see how it fucking goes.
We need to get some shit recorded. That's what we need.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to get on that.
And maybe Toby will do a little music video for
Man, I'd love to.
As long as I don't have to be in it, baby.
You're going to be the star.
Nope.
Yeah.
Music videos
You're gonna be in every
more than
shot.
anything in the world. Nope. I already am in every shot. I'm the drummer. That's why it sucks being a drummer. You're in every fucking shot in a music video. It's the worst. Everybody gets to go get fucked up and hang out. You have to sit there and play the fucking song 100 times.
We'll build a concept around this
Yes.
Man,
video.
Fuzz
goes missing.
You need to just play those drums, Fuzz.
Like, where's Fuzz?
I don't want to.
We need a drummer.
Hey, I'm Michael, aka Rickshaw, and you've been nerding out with Rickshaw. And you can find us on all the stuff. We also post everything on Spotify and Apple Music if you want to listen to all the audio versions. We also do the live show almost every week on Thursday at 6:30 Central Time. So if you're hearing us on the podcast version, like the audio version, maybe come check us out and see what we look like on YouTube. Anyways, I'm also in a band called Never Rest, and we are writing a bunch of new music right now, and we should be putting up some stuff pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. Go add that band up, and we will see you later, nerds.